Hi there. Wait. What is this? I mean, what is this? This cup? No. I think I can't do this with this cup. And the other thing is, how do I look? I mean, with this look, I can't do this video. No. That's not possible. Of course, we need this cup. There's no other way. We have to use this cup here today. That feels better now. That feels way better. Let's take a sip. But I still don't feel comfortable. I mean, what's going on with my outfit here today? That's not so correct for this video. I have prepared something. Give me a second. I need some black nylons. And because I don't have a red dress in my closet, I thought I will improvise a little bit. So this is my red dress now. I think now I'm ready to do this. Hi there. This is Luise Heinzl. Welcome to my paper premiere with the wonderful title Ich vergess dich nicht. That's obviously German. I will go into detail about that in a second. It would translate to English in I won't forget you. So what is a paper premiere? In a paper premiere, I show you my newest digital paper collection in form of a junk journal I've created from it. In this case, I have two junk journals. I will talk about why I have two junk journals here in a second. So you can see how a bound journal with a new paper might look, instead of just seeing a preview of the paper in my shop or loose printed sheets here on my desk. And I do this so that you can get a better idea of what you could create for yourself with this new paper collection. Today I have a very special paper collection for you. It's titled Ich vergess dich nicht. The title Ich vergess dich nicht translates I won't forget you into English, but for my understanding, it's more like I don't forget you. I think that's a little bit hard to explain and a little bit confusing with the translation from German to English, but that doesn't matter. It's about not forgetting someone. And this paper collection is massively inspired by a song and a music video, but also by a very difficult time I had in my life last year. But I will tell you more about that later in the video. What's special about this video is that it is a so-called YouTube premiere, and that means that you can find a chat which is live either under the video or next to the video on the side, depending on the device you are using. So if you can't see the chat, then please search for it now, because of course the chat is meant to chat so that we can talk about what I'm showing in this video. A little technical side note, the video itself is pre-recorded. So the video is not live when you see me here. You can see me, but I've recorded this already a few days ago. So I'm not live here speaking to you, but what you can read in the chat and what I'm writing there is live. So if you have a question, then you can of course write it into the comments of the chat, and I will then answer that in the chat, but you will not hear me saying the answer in this video because that is pre-recorded. I hope that makes sense if you are new to this kind of YouTube videos. And of course, I'll also post the links to the new paper collection in the chat. If you are overwhelmed and confused and if that is too fast for you, of course, you can also find the paper collection linked below the video in the description box. I have listed everything separately that you need to know to find it. The paper collection Ich Vergess Dich Nicht has different components. So let me first talk about that, so that you can get an idea of what you can get with this paper collection. There's a total of 3 different items available in my shop. The first item is called Ich Vergess Dich Nicht Junk Journal Pages. And that's what you can see, for example, here or here. So that means that are the full pages which you can then print out, fold in half and use for your signatures in your journal. The junk journal pages have some more like storytelling images on them, like this, for example, or what you've seen a second ago. But there are also some more like backgroundish pages. This is, for example, one of the backgroundish pages. I don't know how I can say that. I wanted to have a really nice mix of those pages which tell the story of the song which inspired this collection. And on the other hand, I wanted to have something that is really like a background, like this, for example. I also wanted to give you a lot of space where you can play around, where you can journal on the pages and so on, and where you can add like pockets or belly bands and all of that stuff. So that's one item. And the second item is called Ich Vergess Dich Nicht Ephemera Pack. And in the ephemera pack, you can find all of the tiny things to decorate your journal. Like, for example, pockets, belly bands, here's nothing of that, tags, which you can use as tags, or you can, of course, turn those into belly bands or pockets or tuck spots as well. There are little elements like, for example, flashcards. This is a bad example because I've included this in this collage. You can't see it. Here, for example, there's one of the tuck spots. This is still empty. I have to decide for what I want to put in there. Here, for example, you can see a flashcard and this little ticket. The clock is a sticker I added by myself, but this and this is part of the ephemera pack. And with the ephemera pack, you can, of course, decorate your journal like you want. You can make little elements like this little, how would you call this? It's a tuck spot somehow, because you could tuck something under here. But this is, for example, one of the flashcards. By the way, these are available in the ephemera pack in German and in English. So both languages are in the same ephemera pack. Here, for example, this ticket in the background is also from the ephemera pack. There are smaller tickets and, of course, things like pockets and, in different designs, different sizes and so on, different colors. These tickets are, these kinds of tickets, are also available in that ephemera pack. So you get all of those tiny bits and pieces with that ephemera pack, and you can decide how you want to include them in the journal. And the third item is called Ich Vergess Dich Nicht Junk Journal Kit, and that is the ephemera plus the pages. So that is nothing else than a combination of the two things I have talked about before. I did that because of your wishes. You told me that it is helpful to have the choice if you want to have only the pages or only the ephemera or everything in one item. There might be people who have followed me here, and perhaps you are one of those. Perhaps you have already crafted along with me with my other videos, which I've already published. We, for example, have already made these little clusters and other decorative elements for this journal without that you knew that it was for this journal, But there's a video, for example, about these clusters available. We've also already made this tape here. And now you know why I have chosen these colors, red and black. Here's also, for example, a little piece of this tape. You can find the videos about all of that also in the description box. And yeah, so perhaps you have already made these small elements and you have perhaps also made some ephemera. Then you can say, okay, I only want to have the pages because I still need a journal. I only have ephemera. Then you could choose the junk journal pages from this paper collection, make yourself a journal with the pages combined with, for example, paper from your stash, and then just throw your ephemera in and you would be ready to go and you would have your finished journal. It could also be that you already have made a journal, like, you know, for example, in this color palette, red and black, but you need ephemera. Then you could say, okay, I take the ephemera pack and I decorate my journal, which I already have, with the elements from the ephemera pack. Or you say, I realized too late that this is great. I'm just kidding. And you perhaps have nothing yet. Then you could, of course, also say, I take the junk journal kit, and then you have everything to make your journal. And that is also the sense of this video, to show you how a journal could look if you would take the paper collection, combine that with some things from your stash, and throw everything into one journal, and then you have it. Do you know what I mean? So this is like a, yeah. For me, this is still pretty empty, even if here are some little decorations already, but it's pretty empty somehow. But I wanted to show you what you can create if you print this out and yeah, just combine it with a few things you have perhaps already pre-made, and then you can build your own journal from that. I have also decided to make 2 journals. Perhaps you are wondering, because yeah, I mean, what is this? I have 2 here. Why is that? It happened that when I was in the flow of making this journal, that I suddenly realized that I have way too many pages. I ended up with a total of 10 signatures, and that was, I'm so sorry, that was too much for one journal. Look, I mean, that is just too much. For my taste, it would have been too much. So I decided that I divide this into 2 and make 2 journals. Little fun fact, the song Ich Vergess Dich Nicht has a second part as well, and the songs Ich Vergess Dich Nicht and Glückskeks, that translates into fortune cookie, they belong together as well. And that is somehow a little bit cute, because that this was not planned, that I have 2 journals in the end, but somehow it happened. Do you know what I mean? So let's first talk about how I decided which pages went into this journal and which pages went into this journal. So I realized, while I had all of these pages on my desk, that I have a ton of pages which have a lot of pink and really pinkish reds in it. So I have taken all of those which were more pink than red, and I have thrown them into this journal. I'm really surprised about how this came out, because look, this is pink and this is red. I mean, you know that I had a really long time in my life where I hated pink, and in the meantime I got friend with pink again. I don't know what happened, but I can handle it. To be honest, I really love this. But that was not always the fact. And combining pink and red, I think a few years ago you could have you could have told me that and I would have run away. Yeah, that it's completely crazy, but I really like how this turned out here. So that means in this journal there are, as I said, the more pinkish things. That was really helpful, and I thought I tell you that. Perhaps you have something like that as like a problem on your desk as well. Then you could say, okay, I will put everything to my desk and look to the colors I have there. And then perhaps you can also see that there are some colors that are, yeah, like more, like they want to be together somehow, then you could throw them into one journal. Yeah, these pages here, which are so pink, are those I made together with Sasha in our little session where we tried a little experiment. There's a series with 4 videos on my channel available about that experiment. We have taken a tiny guitar and made some papers with the help of a guitar. That was so much fun, and these are those prints. Those prints are also available as a digital paper item in my shop. You can find the link down below in the description box. This is, for example, also from that experiment, and I'm so in love how that turned out. Look how cool that goes together with these elements, which I made for the Ich Vergess Dich Nicht paper collection with the red and the black, without even thinking about this combination, because this with the guitar prints, that was a spontaneous thing that was not planned when we planned the other thing and when I planned to make this paper collection. I have not thought that I would make something like this because, yeah, life happened. Do you know what I mean? Perhaps later on you will understand why that was not planned. But in here there are the more pink papers combined with the Ich Vergess Dich Nicht paper collection. And in the other journal, I tried something where I was really surprised how well that came out. I have taken the pages from Ich Vergess Dich Nicht and also the ephemera, some of the guitar prints, because I wanted to have these journals like siblings, yeah, not twins, but siblings. So here is one of the guitar prints as well. But I also have thrown in other papers. I will talk about this later in the video. That is something very special. But I thought, why don't I try to take the pages from Ich Vergess Dich Nicht and combine them with other printables from my shop in the same or in a very close paper color palette. I'm sorry. So what you can see here in the background is one of my alcohol inked papers. I will link this item for you down below as well. What you can see here are the pockets from Ich Vergess Dich Nicht combined with some of the tickets you will find in the ephemera pack as well as these pockets, of course. And I'm so surprised how that turned out. Look, I mean, it's from totally different paper collections, but it works so harmoniously together. I'm really surprised. This is from Ich Vergess Dich Nicht. This as well. This as well. This as well. Here's another of the alcohol inked backgrounds combined with the ephemera from Ich Vergess Dich Nicht. I mean, look, this is a little sticker, so this is not on the print, but yeah, look how well that goes together. I'm really happy how this came out. I have also, this is also from the new paper collection, this as well. Here's another of the alcohol inked pages in the background. This little pocket here I made with the help of the new paper collection. And I thought, why don't I include some red mushrooms? I love this double spread so much. This is from Ich Vergess Dich Nicht, and this is from my printable called Red Mushrooms. And I'm so in love how this turned out. This is such a great combination, I think, and especially with these flashcards, I'm so in love how that comes out. This is again a background from the Ich Vergess Dich Nicht paper. Or not a background, a page which is background dish. This is one of the guitar prints. And I've also used the paper we have used to protect my table while we did the guitar prints. I've just cut that into size and then I've thrown that in here as well. There's one line in the song, which is: Dein Herz ist eingepackt wie in Geschenkpapier.
Dein Herz ist eingepackt wie in Geschenkpapier.
That means your heart is wrapped like in wrapping paper. Can you see? Yeah, so I will link all of the papers I have used additionally, here like these mushrooms, for example, down below the video, of course, so that you can get an overview over what I have used here and what I have combined. This, for example, is also from another paper collection, and that is actually a Christmas paper. Here you can see some ledger in the background, so that is also part of the digital paper, and you can see these Christmas flowers here also here. This is made with a stencil, but the rest is part of the print. Let me show you the second half of the page here, look. I mean, for me, this is now not Christmas anymore, but it's part of this vibe that this red and black color palette gives me with this journal. And I thought it's worth a try to do something like this, and I really like how that came out. Please just leave a comment in the chat what you think about this. Do you like this, or do you think, oh, that's Christmas, that is not so good? Yeah. And I can't really express how happy I am that you are here today together with me, because when I have this here and when I think about how this whole thing started, I can hardly believe that I'm sitting here now with both of these journals. And when I say here, I mean here in this place and with these journals. That is just crazy. And I'm so happy that I'm here, that I can show them to you and that we can talk about this, because you are, of course, also a big part of this whole story, because you have always been here with me while I was on my journey here and while I, made this. And that is just wonderful. And I'm really, really appreciative that you are here together with me, and especially that you are together with me in the chat and that we can talk and write and that we can chat today. To understand this whole story and the background behind this, we have to make a little time travel. So let's travel back about a year to the end of 2023. At that time, I was still living in my caravan in Austria at the Plansee, that is a lake in Austria. And due to various circumstances in my private and also my business life, I was feeling pretty bad at that time. I had like a creative block. I had a really hard time to get my things done. I had problems to find new ideas for new projects, and that was a really, really bad feeling for me. And I went through a really rough time, fighting with myself somehow, fighting with all of the things around me. And I was really, in a really like crazy block somehow. And I also couldn't enjoy anymore what I was doing. No matter what I tried out, no matter what I did, no matter what I created, I didn't like it anymore. And I couldn't enjoy creating anymore. And that was really, really, an extreme bad feeling. I have problems to express that in English, but I really wish that you never have to go through something like that, because it was just the most terrible time in my life. Maybe you know this saying, you have to function. I felt like a machine. I felt like, I have to go through this. I have to make sure that my content on YouTube can be continued. I had the feeling that I have to do things, and that was just like being a machine, and that was just so terrible. I can't even bring that into words. And at the same time, there was this feeling of having absolutely no free time anymore. I was feeling like working 24/7. Something like this, sitting here and flipping through a journal, was no fun anymore, and I had no time to do something like that. Because sometimes you also have the feeling, okay, when I don't have more ideas or I don't feel inspired or so, then you could take your older journals and flip through them. But I felt like I don't have time for that. I have to go on. I have to make my things, like, sleeping, eating, working, and then the whole thing starts again. And when I had a few minutes for myself, I felt like I don't know what to do with this time. And I felt like completely overwhelmed because I didn't know what to do with those minutes I had for myself. Really crazy. And you can probably imagine that it is not so easy for me to talk about this because, here on my channel, I want to spread positive energy, of course. I want to give you inspiration and I want to spread creative energy, of course. And perhaps there are different opinions about what I'm doing here at the moment. And to be honest, I thought for a very long time about the question, can I talk about this in a video like this? But then I decided that I need to talk about it, that I want to talk about it, so that you also can, understand what this is. But not only that, I want you to understand what this is and what this means to me. Of course, I want you to understand the background behind this paper collection. Perhaps you then have also a different feeling if you want to have this for yourself, and if you then craft with this and make something with this, vielleicht, that is German, I'm so sorry, perhaps then this gets a different, more valuable thing for you as well. But this is also meant as a reminder that not everything is always positive, and that you perhaps also sometimes need to go through those bad times and those difficult times to be then creative in the end, and again, to be able to be creative after that. It sounds a little kitschy, but I mean, this is a little kitschy as well, isn't it? But without darkness, there's no light, and without light, there's no darkness. And I think we should think about that when we are in those moments where we struggle with something. And that's why I decided that I want to talk about that in this video, and why I want to tell you that in the context with this new paper collection. One day during this difficult time, I was laying in my bed and should have been sleeping. My body was telling me that it would be the best, but my head was keeping me awake. I had my phone in my hands and thought I'd look around a bit on TikTok to distract myself and maybe able to sleep then. And suddenly a music live stream was shown to me, which I got stuck on from the first second.
Schenkst mir ein Lächeln, es ist so echt und wahr. Wie kann es nur sein, kann es nicht verstehen? Warum kann ich's mir nicht einfach gestehen? Lauf mit mir durchs Feuer, träum mit mir die Nacht. Gehen wie übers Wasser, das uns freier macht. Spür mit mir die Sonne, die Licht ins Leben bringt. Und wir umkreisen zusammen die Erde mit dem Wind. Mit dem Wind. Die Stimme von dir.
I can't even tell you exactly why. I don't even remember which song it was that I heard there first. But what I can tell you is that it was a live stream from Sascha Dehm. If you've been following me for a while, you probably already know him. And if you have seen the little series about the Guitar Prince, then you have already seen him here on my channel, because he was a guest here in those videos where I made, where we made those Guitar Prints. But we have to think about this whole thing a year back, because there I was in Austria and he was in Germany. So we have been not in the same place when I found him on TikTok, I mean. And during this time, he was regularly live on TikTok, and his living room concerts were like a little vacation for me somehow. That sounds maybe totally weird, but it was exactly that. It was something where I could look forward to when I had my working day, and when I had my things finished. I was like, okay, today is Wednesday and I can go to the living room concert, even if I didn't have to leave my caravan for that. That was also a thing that probably helped me a lot, because it was something I could do without leaving the space where I was. And that helped me so much, even if Sasha didn't know anything about that, because yeah, he didn't know what he was doing at that time for me. And when you are new to a community, in this case, his community, you don't know your way around yet. So it happened that during one concert, there was talk of wearing a red dress and black nylons. You can imagine what I thought about that. Being such a typical dress and nylons wearer. I mean, look at my closet and you would laugh if you would hear that in combination with my name. Nevertheless, that's the outfit you wear when you go to a living room concert by Sasha. By the way, you don't even need to have a real red dress and real black nylons in your closet. You can also put them on in your head and it still works. You can also have them on the paper and it still works. But that is, of course, some insider information. You should know, if you want to talk about this, or if you want to have this, then you should know that. Just kidding. If you don't know it, then you will have fun with this as well, of course. But I want to give you, of course, the information why this is here like it is. And one day, of course, I also watched the music video that's associated with the red dress and the black nylons. And that's the song Ich Vergess Dich Nicht, which translates to I won't forget you. Even if I think that I don't forget you is more fitting, but that is, I think, a problem with the German and the English language. And you can watch that on YouTube, of course, as well. I have linked it down below this video for you. And Sasha then once did a live stream where he replaced the aged ear cushions of his headphones with new ones. You will see a little video snippet here. Please excuse the weird shape of the portion of the video is a little bit weird, because I had to manipulate that because of some personal information about the other people who have been in that stream as well. So I wanted to have you this like feeling of being there as well, even if that happened about a year ago. But just that you know why the clip is a little bit weird. Yeah, I had to manipulate it a little bit. But he was sitting there and he was like talking to the people, but he also had to concentrate on what he was doing. And obviously exchanging those cushions of the headphones was not so easy for him. So he also had to make sure that he didn't hurt himself. And it was a little bit like, you know, hard for him to read what the people have written in the comments in the chat and replace those cushions at the same time. And when he was exchanging those cushions, suddenly the knot burst. I suddenly had the idea to make a small piece of art from these old headphone cushions. Yes, this is one of those. That was such a crazy moment, having an idea again, that is just, I just can't bring that into words. It's just so crazy. I had a vision of a squared canvas in front of my eyes, approximately this big. This canvas isn't existing in reality. It was just in my head, and it is still in my head as a really clear picture. And there was something like a piece of art which you could hang to the wall on like a squared canvas. And there was in my head some red fabric around, and of course some black nylons, like, like a real nylon material. And around this black cushion, there were some guitar strings, like in these in a door wreath you would hang for Halloween or Christmas. Do you know these wreaths that you could hang to your door? There was this, and then the guitar strings, and then, that was on a canvas. And I suggested in that stream to exchange the old cushions for new ones and make a piece of art out of them for him. And because of his concentration that he had to do this thing, he hasn't seen my suggestion. And I said, is that a deal? Is that a deal? But after writing it several times, he still hasn't seen it. And then somehow, I don't even know how that happened, this whole thing turned into an auction. Suddenly, there were people who was like suggesting the amount of money that they wanted to give for those cushions. And yeah, then one of the admins of the chat was like, okay, we are at, I will not say how much I have paid for them, yeah, because you can guess who has won the auction and who was then, after that, a little bit broke. That's me. It was really crazy, but it was also a ton of fun, and it was this moment where I thought, okay, this is somehow a change. This is something where I can feel that something moves again instead of staying still for the whole time. It really doesn't matter how much I have paid for that. I mean, I can't say it, you won't believe that. But I thought after this idea with the canvas, suddenly there was this thought, if that is possible on a canvas, even if it was only in my head at that time, is it then perhaps also possible on a journal cover? Yes, of course it is. Here is something similar to what I had in my head from the canvas. This is not exactly what was in my head, but it's something similar, and this leaded to the rest somehow. And after this idea of taking this canvas idea and turn that into a junk journal cover, suddenly this journal, which is now 2 journals, was so clear in my mind's eye that I could already flip through the journal without it even existing. And even if I often have a very clear idea of what I want to do, even if I often have a picture in my head of a result or a finished journal or so, this was really exceptional. I have rarely experienced something that was so concrete like that thing, that I could close my eyes and flip through the journal and I could see every single detail on the single pages. That was just it was just crazy in the most positive way I could imagine. And it was the same with the digital paper. Suddenly there were so many concrete pictures that I wanted to bring to paper in my mind, that I had the feeling that I can print what is in my mind. And I have talked about that with previous paper collections I have released, that I wish sometimes I could print to paper what is in my head. And with this paper collection, it was the first time in my life, and I guess it was the last time as well at the same time, that I had the feeling that that was possible. Printing out what is in my head. And that is, it's amazing. It's just so crazy. And this not only tells the story of the song, and it tells the story of the music video, which is like basically the same thing. But this is also the story how I came back to being creative. And this is what brought me to this point where I could say, okay, I can move forward and I can again do what I love with really loving it instead of just doing it. So how did the cushions of the headphones come to me? Of course, Sasha has sent me a package. And I have also some video footage about that, because when that arrived at the campsite, I thought I want to share that with you. So I will put the oldest video footage I have on my phone now into this video, because I have that on my phone for such a long time, because I already recorded it when I received the package, and that was, and I have the package still here, I haven't thrown it away. I will just cover our addresses here. Oh my goodness, it's the same address, but here, oh my goodness, I'm just realizing that under my hand here, there's of course 2 different addresses, and if you would send a package to him and to me now, then it would be the same address. Isn't that, it's just crazy. Oh, but what I wanted to say, it was on November 23rd in 2023 when this package came to me. Really a long time ago. And what is this? What do you want to tell me? I don't know. This is a piece of the strings, obviously. Don't know what this is doing here. But you will see the video footage of me unboxing that package now. After a really, really romantic walk over the campsite, I finally found the package. Here it is. Holy crap! I went from my caravan, so I have my invisible map here. Look, here's my caravan. I went from my caravan to the reception of the campsite because I was expecting the package there, because the address also says, please deliver it to the reception. But when I arrived there, I could see no package there. So I went back to the snack bar of the campsite, which is approximately here. Here's my caravan and here's the snack bar. And there it was. I could find it there. I had some trouble to get it as well, because there's a construction site at the moment and the door is closed, and there's a little slot in between of a glass door and like, a little thing where you can throw the packages in, and it was so far inside that I couldn't reach it with my hand, so I had to cross the construction site to get it. I would like to open this package together with you, because what's inside of this package is something really emotional for me. And there are not much packages which could make me nervous, but this makes me really nervous. So let's do this. So machen wir das hier auf. Los geht's. Here we go. Oh. I can see a little message. Oh, and we have a signature. Okay, so let's see. Ooh. Oh. Okay, so let's first try to translate this. So this says, liebe Grüße und danke, Sascha. So, what, holy crap, I mean, what the heck? I'm so sorry, I'm just feeling the quality of this card. This is, holy crap, this is really a high quality paper. It's absolutely smooth. Oh my goodness, this, this material, I'm feeling a little bit strange when I say that now, but that's what I'm feeling right in this moment. And I said I want to share my emotions, so I have to say it. This paper feels like exactly the same. How can I say that in English? So when you hear music and you feel touched by the music, then it's an emotion. It's not like someone would touch you, yeah, with his hands on your skin. But you have an emotion, how it feels when music touches you. And the paper here is exactly how it feels when his music touches me. That is really crazy. Okay, so let's translate this. I'm a little bit speechless at the moment. So this says, many greetings and thank you. And with these headphone thingies, he has recorded some songs in a studio in Ulm. Ulm is a city in Germany, and that's also where Sascha is living. And the songs are called Im Lichte dieser Stadt. That means in the lights, not lights, in the light of this city. Glückskeks is a fortune cookie. Und Ich vergesse dich nicht, that's the third song. That means I won't forget you. And this is really cute. He has given me 2 more cards, and I can't stop petting this card. And then we have those headphone thingies here. It's not, it feels like felt, but this is more foamy. This is a really tactile video. I have the feeling this is relatively, it's a bit touchy here. And here are the guitar strings that he has replaced when he, on exactly the same day, I think. Was that the same day? I think. That doesn't matter. When he replaced these. Unfortunately, he has cleaned these before sending them to me. That was also really funny because when I was sure that I could get these, I said to him if he still has these guitar strings or if he has thrown them into the trash can. And then he said, yeah, I have to take them out from the trash can. And I say, oh, if that's not too much trouble for you, then could you please do that for me? Because it would be really great to have these, because I already had something in my mind that I could do with them. And then he has sent a photo and he said, I've even cleaned them for you. And I was like, oh no. The patina has gone. I mean, what have you done? You have cleaned them. But of course he couldn't know that, and I was just kidding. But that was a really funny moment as well. So we have these, and I'm sure we can do something really, really cool with these as well. So that means you will see all of these things here again. I can't believe how long ago that is. It's just so crazy. So when I had the idea of making the digital paper, I started to analyze the video. I watched it hundreds of times and I looked at every single detail of it. And if you know me, you know what it means when I pay attention to details. It took me so many hours, so many days and nights, but it was so much fun to create this and to include elements from that video. And Sascha had mentioned before that he lives in Ulm. That's a city in Germany. And he also told in several live streams that the video was shot in Ulm. So what did Luise do? She went to Google Maps and other sites, other pages like that, to find out what it looks like there in this city called Ulm. I mean, what is that? Ulm. It's so funny. If I look back at that from my point of view now, my head is like exploding because I just can't believe it. Because if you're one of the people who follow me very intensively here, then you know that I now live in Ulm. Yeah, I live in the city where the video was shot. And I live in the city where Sascha lives as well. And not only in the city, but in the same house. Because he is my landlord now. That is... I don't know what to say about that. And so I'm feeling so bisschen komisch. I don't know how to say that in English. It's a little bit strange because I talk about my life and my experiences here, and I don't want this to be boring or so for you. But that's the only way I can bring my excitement about this to you. And that's the only way I can give you this vibe that this somehow has. And I'm so hoping that you can feel that as well. That is one of my biggest wishes, that you could see this like not only like paper, but paper with a really wonderful story behind. So with my research about Ulm, there went a lot of also architectural elements into this paper collection. I'm just trying to find out where this little card is. I think it's in the other journal. So this is the first page I made for this paper collection. This is like a card. Can you see? It's like smaller. This is part of the ephemera pack. But this is also available in the junk journal pages as a full page. I just show it to you like this so that you can see it in one whole thing. These half-timbered houses here came to the paper collection just by my research on Google and YouTube and so on. And I created these without having been in Ulm. And when I look at this now, it's just absolutely crazy because the houses here, they are so similar to this. And there's even a house that is called the Wonky House. And as you can see, these houses are not only half-timbered houses, but they are really wonky. And I did that, and I made them in this style without even knowing about the wonky house which is existing in Ulm. And on that wonky house, there's a little key which hangs on the house so that you can see how wonky it really is, because the key is obviously, hanging straight. And there you can see how wonky the house really is. And having this in my hands, knowing that I made this before having been here, and now knowing how it really looks here, that is just, I can't bring that together in my brain because it's just so out of this world that I can't get that. But, when I made this paper, it wasn't planned that I will move here. Yeah, I didn't know about that when I created the paper collection. We had planned at that time that we can make like a small YouTube collaboration. He being in Germany, me being in Austria, and then we would have done it like all of the other persons on YouTube, yeah? Make like a Zoom or something like that to collaborate and to communicate. And that originally was the plan. Yeah, and then one day, that was at the end of February 2024, he told me that the apartment above him is becoming vacant. And so everything took its course. And now I'm sitting here in my apartment, in exactly that apartment. He's my landlord, and I'm in the city, which is also on this paper collection. Crazy. And for example, where's this card now? Is it in this journal or is it in the other one? No, here. This card here, let's take this again. This bridge here on the card is meant to be the bridge from the video, of course. And it's so crazy to know how it looks in reality. Because, of course, now I have the possibility to go to this bridge because it's really close to the apartment here. So perhaps you want to go with me there? We could do this now really easily. So let's go. Das ist schon ein bisschen verrückt. Man kommt sich vor, als wenn man in dem Video wäre.
In dem Video.
Aber du schaust ein bisschen heute anders aus, dein Outfit.
Ja, ich habe heute
Is a little bit different.
Kommen auf meiner Kussszene Brücke.
Und wo ist jetzt der Kuss? In the video there's also an alley and we have been there as well. And there we made some leaf prints because I think it's such a great thing to have some found objects from a place where you have been in a journal. And of course, there are several different possibilities how you could do that. This here, for example, is one of those leaf prints we've made there. So we have picked some of the leaves from the, there was a little lawn next to the alley. And I had taken some papers with me and some spray stains and oxide sprays so that we could do that. I have video footage about that as well. Please excuse the chaotic circumstances. It was very, very windy at that day, but we've tried our best to show you what we have done there and how these papers came to life.
Die beste Zeit war die wir zusammen hatten.
Geht's
Nur
noch?
ein bisschen Platz in deinem
4000
Herzen
Stunden
für mich
Fußmarsch später.
Ja, ungefähr.
Hier ein kleines Assortment der Ranger-Kollektion. So, nimm dir eins. Hier ist dein, ich kann das gar nicht aussprechen.
Eins oder alle?
Taubengrau, das weiß ich auch noch nicht. Ich weiß nicht, ob das geht. Wir sprühen das an und dann hauen wir das aufs Papier drauf. Und während wir sprühen, macht das ja hier wahrscheinlich auch schon irgendwas. So, guckst du.
Ohne Spinne.
Eine Spinne. Also wenn man drüber sprüht, schaut es fast geiler aus, ne?
Damit es nicht ganz so weiß ist, machen wir da so ein bisschen Tupfi.
Oder haben wir jetzt noch voll den Mond? Oder vielleicht ist das auch die dicke Sonne aus, ohne dich. This is coffee dyed paper, but I want a different plant for this one. I found this kind of plant, don't know the name. Oh my goodness.
Ja, hier.
Das ist der, den wir vorher hatten, ja? Oh no.
Das ist ja einfach furchtbar, wenn man dreckige Hände hat, oder?
What is normal if you do something like this? Clean hands or dirty hands?
Ich glaube, das kommt jetzt drauf an, was du mit Dirty meinst.
The little problem is that they move while I spritz this. We could even try to get 2 from 1. What if we place this here? Spritz it. And then take this. As a stamp. Aha! Nun ja. Und das funktioniert natürlich auch besser mit Fotopapier als mit einem anderen Papier. Würde ich jetzt mal so sagen. It would probably be better to press these plants first, but who has time for that? Außerdem sind ja in dem Video auch nicht so verschrumpelte Rosinen zu sehen, sondern so ganz frische junge Menschen mit Elan.
Genau, richtig, ja.
Genau. This is also made with these prints. I have taken, and this is one of those as well, I have just taken 2 papers. I have sewn them here and here. And now this is in the signature like so that you then have 2 pockets here. That was just such a wonderful day. It was so windy, but at the same time so hot from the sun, of course. When I touch the paper, even if it's pretty cold in the room here at the moment, I have the feeling that the sunlight and the warmth of that day is still in this paper, and that is, it feels so wonderful, and I'm so happy that I have this here. And I think that is a really how is the English word, a valuable thing to have in a journal. And when we were there at that alley, I thought it would be great if we could do something with the water from the river Danube in the journal. So we have taken some water from there. I have in the meantime put it into this glass here, even if we had this here in our backpack when we were there, and we have put the water in here. But in the meantime, you know, I have made other projects and I needed my sprayer, so I have put that in here. And when I want to use it in the journal again, I have already used some of the water in here, but when I want to spray, I will put it again back into this. But what I'm trying to say is, if you are, for example, in a special place, holiday or whatever, and you want to take something from the area with you and put that into your journal, then why not take some water? And even if there is no river, no lake or something like that available, I think even water from the Wasserhahn here, this thing that is over the sink, what is the word? Oh, I don't know the word. You know what I mean, where the water comes out over the sink, this thing. When you take it from there, from a hotel or so, in my opinion, it's something special, even if it perhaps then doesn't come from a lake or something like that, but it's from the place where you have been and from the place that is special to you. And when it's then in the journal, it makes the journal even more special, doesn't it? What do you think about that? And we have also visited another place, and that is this place here.
Platz in deinem Herzen für mich machen. Die beste Zeit war die, als wir zusammen lachten. Ohne das Gefühl, dass wir beide was verpassten.
It's just so cool to have this here. It's just, oh my goodness, I'm so happy with this. I'm so in love with this paper. That sounds so arrogant because, I mean, I made it, but it's good to be in love with something that you have made by yourself, isn't it? I mean, I wish that you can feel something like that as well, that you can fall in love with things you do. And that's why I'm talking about that and why I'm telling you that. Not because I want to sound arrogant or so. Of course I don't want that, but I want you to perhaps have more open eyes for those things so that you can then perhaps feel that as well. And there's another really crazy thing that has to do, oh, it's not completely empty, with this cup here. I don't know how I can explain that, because it's just so unbelievable. I have talked about it in one of my past videos, but it's already a longer time ago, so I will talk about this again. Hopefully I will not bore you with this. But for all of the people who are new here and haven't heard about this, I think this is a really nice story. So when I saw the video, Ich vergess dich nicht, I was like, hä? When the woman is in her apartment again, she goes to the window and there is a cup next to the window, and she takes the cup and looks at the cup. And when I saw that for the first time, or I don't know if I even realized it when I saw it the first time, but that doesn't matter. Someday I thought, hey, I know this cup. So I went to my kitchen to find out that I have, obviously, a cup with exactly the same design like the cup in the video is. And that is this. This is like a, a thermal, is that correct? I don't know. It stays in here hot or cold depending on what you put in here. The cup from the video is like ceramic or so, but the design is exactly the same. What it says, die beste Zeit ist jetzt, the best time is now. The line from the song is, the best time was the time we had together, if you would translate that into English. And I had this for such a long time, and I bought it because when I have read this, I mean in the past, I have this for years. When I read this, I was like, okay, that is good. This is a good quote. This is a good reminder. I will buy this to enjoy my time. And after I bought that, ginkgo became something really important in my life. Perhaps you remember this little tiny ginkgo tree. I have grown myself from a ginkgo tree seed I brought from a vacation in Rome. I have shown the ginkgo tree to you. In the meantime, it has unfortunately died. It's I don't know. It hasn't survived, but ginkgo became something really, really special for me, and it's here on the cup. And that is also why it's part of the paper collection and why I have included it to several of the pages. And I have also, I just have to remember, is it in this journal? No, it's in the other one. I have also made something with my printer by making some copies of ginkgo and other little plants. This page here is not part of the printable. I made that with my printer, but I wanted to show this to you and explain how I did this, because I thought this could be an idea for you as well. I have taken some plants which we picked up on the alley. I have, taken them home and I have pressed them for a few days, and then I could easily put them to my printer, into this little thing where you normally scan the things, and then you can also make a copy. And I have taken some dried ginkgo leaves I had here in my stash, put them also to the scanner. And then I made a copy on one of the pages which already had this pink on them. And then I thought, is it perhaps possible to get red ginkgo to my paper? I then played around a little bit with the settings of my printer, and suddenly I found out that I can also make a copy from the original ginkgo leaves. So they originally looked like this. I put them to my printer. You can see this is the original color. But I found out that I can also copy them in red just by manipulating the settings a little bit. If you want to see a tutorial about that and how to do that, I could of course do that, but you can write a comment now if you want to see that, or if you know how to do that. But it is probably a little bit hard, and that's also a reason why I haven't done it yet, why I haven't done a video about it, because I guess for every printer it's a little bit different. You have to understand the main idea behind it, and then you can, I guess, easily do it with your own printer. But yeah, I can't show you, what is that? The exact thing, because my print is probably different than yours. But if you want to see that, you can of course leave a feedback in the chat now, and I can then think about if there are enough people who are interested in seeing that. After I had that, I also tried out to get that more black and red. Here, for example, this in the background, I also made with the help of my scanner. It's a copy as well. Where's the second page? Here. This little fur. I also put to my scanner and then made a copy on a paper which already had this purplish pink, because I thought the couple in the video is sitting on the couch eating popcorn, and they need a really cozy and fluffy thing to lay their heads on. And so I thought, this is nice. And this, I mean, this is a copy, but it looks so real and it feels so fluffy. It's only paper, but it feels fluffy somehow. But I could also manage to, where is this page where the red and black ginkgo leaves are? I played around with the same idea, but with different settings. And this is also made just with the normal color of the leaves, just by manipulating the settings of the printer a little bit. And what I find really fascinating about this is, on the paper, there was this pink stuff, and there was mica from some mica spray. And after copying the leaves on here, I could see that the mica is sitting on the thing. Can you see? It's absolutely in the foreground, and it's sitting somehow on the rest. And that is really fascinating for me. And also this translucency I got here from the leaves, it's just crazy. And I really like this trick. I will definitely do that more often. And I could also get somehow, you know, I talked about the thing with the pink on some of these papers. And I could also, with that copy trick, get a connection with the colors. Because pink, black, red, black, pink, red, pink, black. Can you see? These postage stamps I have glued on here to the card, so that I get this connection with the colors to this whole spread. And that is, I think, a really great trick to get the colors cohesive. I also included some other special things, like, for example, numbers that have a meaning. I included the birthday of Sasha, my own birthday, the number of subscribers he had when I made the paper collection, and so on. So the numbers you find on the flashcards, where is it? They all have a meaning, and yeah, you know, it's not coincidence what numbers are here. And I also have something really, really special, and that is this handwriting here, for example, on the flashcards, but also on some of the pages here. You can see it probably a little bit better because the card is bigger here. And these are the lyrics of the song Ich Vergess Dich Nicht, handwritten by Sasha, and he then scanned that and gave that to me so that I can include that here in the paper collection. Here, for example, you can see it also. Why am I making examples only with the flashcards? It's not only on those cards, it's also in the background of the pages and on other elements. Look here, for example. And he said that he finds his own handwriting a little bit wonky and like scribbly, but I find that that is the perfect handwriting for a junk journal, isn't it? I just love to have that there. I mean, I had to, how is the English word? convince him a little bit to to do this, because he said, oh, I can't write in a straight line. And I said, yeah, that's good, that is very good. The more wonky the wonkier it is, the better it is. But he couldn't understand that so well, but now it is here, and I think he likes it as well. Yeah. Here, for example, it's also in the background here on this card, and this is also available as a page. And then, of course, it's on the page in the background as well, because it's the same image. But it's just, here it's just smaller. Oh, that fits so well. Yeah, so that is that. That's a lot, I know. So what can you expect from my future videos? I definitely have some ideas what I want to do in these journals now. You will see this journal and what I do in this journal in the German videos, meaning in my upcoming German videos. And you will see what I will do in this journal in my upcoming English videos. You will also see how I made the covers of these journals. I have filmed my process, and that is like a really like process-ish video. I to be honest, don't want to talk about that today and now, because that was such a struggle, but I'm so proud that I have this. This is a very special material. It's not just a red fabric, but it's a special material. Perhaps you can already see that this cover has buttonholes and this has buttons. That is not coincidence or something, but this was a special cloth I have cut up for this. You will see, I guess, a total of 3 videos about making the covers. And I also have some ideas on some decorative pieces for this. I also want to make some special page tabs. That is something that is already pretty clear in front of my inner eye. You will see that, and you will see some other ideas what you could do with the paper collection, of course, and with the ephemera and so on. So if you want to see that, stay tuned for that. I have the feeling that we need some die cuts here as well. I want to decorate this even further, even if this is, you know, there are some decorations already, but I want to go a little further with that and add some, especially some really, yeah, detail-ish details. Does that make sense? So if you want to see that, then stay tuned. And thank you very, very much for watching and being here together with me today. If you want to check out the paper collection, you can find the links down below in the description box of this video. And I wish you a very great and creative day, and hopefully we will see you the next time. Bye bye.